Thank you, Susan. Well, thanks much, and of course you can read in the program more about our panelists. But I wanted to set the stage just a bit. These are all well-known figures here in our community, and we are all blessed that we have a very rich, diverse religious community here, as you know. Reverend Cosby has presided over the creation of an extraordinary complex and congregation in the West End. What you may not know is that it's not enough for him just to run a vibrant church, but he also feels the need to run a university as well. And so he does that with Simmons College and has preserved that institution that has strong roots and is very important to the Louisville community. Reverend Taylor has a very interesting background. In addition to being the executive director of the Kentucky Council of Churches, she has a Master of Divinity. She has her doctorate. In addition, she has been on both sides of this. She's been a fundraiser, but she's also been a funder, spending a number of years with the Ford Foundation. And so it brings an interesting perspective as well. Rabbi Rapport, whom I'm sure many of you know, is one of the co-rabbis at the temple. He serves on the board of the Center for Interfaith Relations and does a great deal of interfaith work throughout the community. He also has his doctorate from Washington University in St. Louis, has written a bunch and has spoken, I suspect, to almost every group in Louisville. And if you haven't yet, you will. You will soon.
Working on it.
For 1 year and 6 days, I'm told, Reverend Medley has been Bishop of Owensboro. Many of you know him from his work here in Louisville. He has written a great deal. He's been very active in philanthropy within his tradition, the Roman Catholic Church, as well as been active in interfaith work of various sorts. And we're delighted that he has come up to be with us from Owensboro today. Dr. Sharif is another one of our board members at the Center for Interfaith Relations. He is by training an accountant. He has his doctorate from the University of Alabama. He has written and spoken and done all sorts of professional things in that world for sure. I know him much better as being one of the great leaders here in this community, attempting to educate all of us about Islam. And as you may know, we have a very active Islamic community here that does all sorts of good work, about which we will hear more soon. And then Reverend Russell, who has maintained an extraordinary retirement. In the last 2 days, he's been in a half dozen states, starting in Michigan. I think he got tired of the balmy weather here, and so he decided to go north to help, and he's had other meetings. We're delighted he could be back here with us. As I'm sure all of us know, he began at Southeast Christian Church when it was a few hundred at most of folks in a worshipful community, and when he left, it was many, many thousands, and has become one of the most vibrant faith traditions and operations here in Jefferson County, in this region, for which we are all grateful. We can ask questions as we go, but what I thought would be the most interesting to at least begin with was to talk a little bit about the underpinnings of the faith traditions in these philanthropy, in these various faith traditions. And I thought, no particular order, but perhaps the one that we are, for better or worse, least familiar with would be the underpinnings of philanthropy in the Islamic tradition, and that I might ask Dr. Sharif to start there.
Okay.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Peace, greetings, my fellow human brothers and sisters. I just wanted to let you know the good Lord says in the Holy Quran that in the universe there are many other planets where life forms like us exist, and they worship the Creator. And this was a really eye-opening for me. So there are a whole lot of other life forms. I just wanted to mention that. The word Islam simply means peace with submission of my free will to the will of the Creator. As simple as that. So this submission is very important. The free will can lead us in different directions, so we need to manage that. Then comes the 5 pillars of Islam. And I'm sure you have heard about these 5 pillars. First pillar is believing in the Creator, the only Creator. And second pillar is worshiping the Creator. The third pillar is philanthropy, paying charity as the third pillar. Fourth pillar of Islam is fasting in the month of Ramadan. And the fifth is, once in a lifetime at least, doing the pilgrimage to Mecca, if financially able and physically capable. But the point of mentioning these 5 pillars is to highlight the fact that the philanthropy or the charity is right after the good Lord, worship, and charity. Many, many verses in the Holy Quran always say, establish worship as well as charity. Worship and charity go together. Many, many verses in the Holy Quran. Well then, what is charity? Well, I look at this earth, and I look at myself on the dominating race on the earth, human. And however, this body, I didn't make it. The Creator created it. The soul inside of me, I didn't put it. The Creator put it. Therefore, I'm the property of the Creator. And that opens up my mind for understanding really a lot of things. Therefore, that being the case, all the resources we have been given, plenty of resources, they all belong to us. And that's how I teach in accounting, balance sheet equation. All the economic resources are claimed by human race. But then the good Lord says, use them safely, justly, sharingly. And that is an important concept to think about and remember. Because we have to make a living. We have been given the talent and the intellect and everything else. So we do use these resources. We create a lot of things. We have gone through Industrial Revolution. Now we're going through Information Revolution. So these are all a lot of gifts from God. But then the good Lord says, instructs, charity, charity, charity. So coming to charity, the Arabic word is zakat, one part of it. The other part is sadaqah. Zakat is compulsory. Sadaqah is voluntary. And therefore, God says, use my gifts, accumulate them, but just don't accumulate to hoard them. It doesn't really belong to you. It's a gift from God. You got to share it. I feel good about Bill Gates and what's the other gentleman? Buffett, Warren Buffett. They are at least, they made billions. And even Oprah Winfrey is spending some of her billions in Africa. Therefore, in Islam, everyone who has net wealth means you got to deduct your necessities, your house, your car, and whatever necessities there are to make a living. Those are exemptions, are standard deductions, so to speak. But any net wealth you have, every year annually, you must pay 2.5% of that. That's called the zakat.